Hey Bookworms, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about the latest book that I've read. It's called The Rorschach Text, and the first thing that you need to know about this book is that it's wonderfully strange. I loved it. I think it was fantastic, but you really need to be in a mood for something like that. You really need to love strange, unique books. So, The Rorschach Text is a novel by Stephen Hall. It's definitely not a new one, but still, it's one of those books that you need to read with as little information as possible about the plot. So in terms of me explaining what this book is about, I will try to only describe what happens at the very beginning, so I won't reveal anything that doesn't happen in the first few pages. So this book opens with a man who wakes up one day and he has no memory whatsoever. He has no idea who he is. He has no idea where he is. He has no idea how did he get to this sort of situation. And pretty soon he finds out that, first of all, his name is Eric, but also that he actually knew that this was about to happen to him, and he prepared and kind of wrote letters to his future self. And now you're all thinking, oh, that kind of reminds me of the movie Memento. No, these two are nothing alike. Yes, the description in the beginning, it might seem like the movie Memento, but then the book turns out to be something completely different. If I had to compare this book to another movie, I would probably, and I'm saying that carefully, I would probably compare it to Eternal Sunshine on a Spotless Mind, The Spotless Mind, whatever. Anyway, it's something completely different in terms of plot, but you know, the general concept kind of remind me of each other. But I'm saying that carefully. Also, mind you, I really didn't like the movie Eternal Sunshine on a Spotless Mind, and I really did love the Rorschach Text, so just so you know. So this book begins with what seems like some sort of thought experiment, and now if I can compare it to another book, I would probably compare it to The End of Mr. Y. Although this book is so different from anything else, maybe I shouldn't compare it to anything else and just talk about it as it is. But it starts like some sort of thought experiment, and then it turns out to be something really different in sci-fi, and that's also one of the reasons that I didn't want to talk about the plot. There are so many things that I want to say about this book, so many things I can tell you about it, but I'm afraid that they might be considered as spoilers, so I really need to hold myself back and not to reveal too much. But there are a few things that I can say about this book. The first thing is, like I said, it's a strange book. You need to love strange, weird books, but the good thing is that Eric, the protagonist, actually knows that everything is strange. He comments on how bizarre everything is, and that makes him a character that's easier to relate to and makes the book a lot easier to read. I've read books in the past that were really strange, and they had weird occurrences, and all the characters behave as if, you know, everything's normal, and it didn't make sense. I kept thinking, you know, no normal person would react like that. Where's your surprise? Where's your shock? No way something like that will happen and you'll react as if everything is normal. And in here, you know, he's aware of the fact that everything is so strange and doesn't make any sense, and I think it's a very big plus for the book. Another thing that I want to talk about is the writing. I just love the way he described things, but not necessarily the physical things. You see, the book talks about memories, thoughts, feelings, the connection between all three, and I just love those descriptions. I loved how he took those concepts and tried to give them a face and a shape. It was so interesting to see the way he described abstract things in a more physical way, as if they really were physical in terms of like physical, like things we all know. It's a little difficult to explain. I'm not so good at descriptions as he is, but I want to show you something cool. I really hope I'm not going to mess it up and you can see. Okay, you see that? There it is. How cool is that? It's a shark made out of words. I'm not sure how good you can see, but I loved how he takes the written word, the spoken word, and the physical world and kind of combine them all together. The third thing that I want to talk about is the book's rhythm and flow. I told you, it's a weird book, it has strange bits, it has even stranger bits, but there isn't one dull moment. This book has letters, it has stories within stories, it has bits that look like encyclopedia entries inside the story, but they're all interesting. The book doesn't get stuck. You know how you read a book and sometimes, especially when it's a story within a story, for me at least, I always notice on these sort of bits, that the book kind of gets stuck. It's very hard to read the entire page or something. And it's not the case here. Everything is interesting. I read this book so fast. I think it took me a week to read this entire book. And it was a very busy week, might I add. And the book was fascinating. The book just finished it like this. I do have, however, a slight problem that has to do with not revealing enough, in my opinion, at least. I have to warn you in advance. If you're one of those people who don't get, at the end of the book, 100% of all information and that sort of things will drive you nuts, where there are some open things, I have to warn you, that's what you get in this book. It's on purpose. Even the ending is kind of open to interpretation, and I kind of get that that's the point of the story. You do have the main idea, actually more than just the main idea, but you do get answers, you do have an ending, but there are a lot of things that are still unsolved, and in my opinion, that's a little too much of open and kind of a situation. I would have liked to have a little more information. I get that you don't get everything at the ending. I totally get it. But I was still a little too curious. Little things like, this object, why was it here? This, what happens there? Very little things, but I would have loved to have some more information. Another very slight problem that I have has to do with romantic relationships. Now, I really have a thing when it comes to romantic relationship. Call it a pet peeve. But when I read a book and there's a love affair between two characters, in order for me to really be invested in the story, in order for me to really want them to be together at the end, or be, afraid that something bad might happen to them, the love story had to be written very, very good. If you just take two people and say they're in love, and that's it, and then something bad happens, I'm not really heartbroken. Unfortunately, in this book, you do have a love affair, and kind of, I read it. It was said there, these two are really in love, but I didn't feel it. And I was wondering if it's just me, or if one of you guys actually read the book and felt the same. So to conclude, I want to read more books like this. Books that are strange and unique and challenge your mind and imagination. If that sounds to you like something you might be interested in, that's definitely the book for you. And if you did read something like that, please comment down below and tell me, because I would love to hear some more recommendation. And that's all for now, folks. That's it for my review. Feel free to like and to comment what you think, and of course subscribe to my channel if you dare. And also, guys, thank you for watching. I realize I haven't said that yet. You guys are great. You're actually listening to me. and writing your comments and subscribing, and I really appreciate, I don't say it, I'm sorry, but I do appreciate every single like, every single subscription, every single time that you guys comment and tell me what you think and agreeing with me and disagreeing with me. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.